It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. JD was in law school, I was in improv school. As I started my second year of law school, I felt like I'd made it. Fresh off a summer job at the U.S. Senate, I returned to New Haven with a wealth of new friends and experiences. I had this beautiful girlfriend, and I had a great job at a nice law firm almost in hand. I knew that kids like me weren't supposed to get this far, and I congratulated myself for having beaten the odds. But old habits die hard. Many of my new friends blame racism for this perception of the president. But the president feels like an alien to many Middletonians for reasons that have nothing to do with skin color. Recall that not a single one of my high school classmates attended an Ivy League school. Barack Obama attended 2 of them and excelled at both. He is brilliant, wealthy, and speaks like a constitutional law professor, which, of course, he is. Nothing about him bears any resemblance to the people I admired growing up. His accent, clean, perfect, neutral, is foreign. His credentials are so impressive that they're frightening. Obama just speaks so well. That's his elitism, which may be true, but from one Ohio to another, this is, I don't know, gullible as fuck. The Tea Party just wants to have a nuanced conversation about tax policy. Yeah, okay. For the record, I am in favor of white slavery. I think that if it was on the ballot, it would and should win by about an 80% margin. It seems like around this time, JD and I were actually reading the same thing. Essays by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
The very situation that we find ourselves in would not be possible without the reaction to the first black president. There's actually, in many ways, a direct result of it.
Well, it does seem that a lot of what Donald Trump is doing, is motivated merely to try to reverse something that Barack Obama did.
Exactly. I mean, there's been journalism about this. The first thing he wants to know is what was Obama's position on it.
You have had a hard time in some interviews expressing a sense of hope that things will get better in this country. Do you have any hope tonight for the people out there about how we could be a better country, we had a better race relations, we have better politics?
No, but I'm not the person you should go to for that. You should go to your pastor. Your pastor provides you hope. Your friends provide you hope. There are figures that exist in better times. The President of the United States provides you hope. There are people who have that kind of moral, place in the world. That's not my job.
The written conversation turned to a much-discussed essay by Ta-Nehisi Coates in The Atlantic making the case for reparations. Mr. Vance offered that whatever problems he had with reparations generally, I have at least been convinced of the virtue of compensating modern victims who have suffered redlining or denial of federal benefits. Denial of federal benefits. Wow, how far our boy has come. To be fair, reparations are not some far-fetched idea. They have actually been very, very real. Like in the case of France charging Haiti reparations for the losses it incurred due to the Haitian Revolution when it was no longer able to enslave Haitians. Haitians. You remember them from earlier about Springfield?
They're eating the dogs.
The Haiti independence debt involves an 1825 agreement between Haiti and France that included France demanding an indemnity of 150 million francs to be paid by Haiti in claims over property, including Haitian slaves, that was lost through the Haitian Revolution in return for diplomatic recognition.
You said, quote, Haiti is so screwed up because it wasn't colonized long enough, end quote. Is that correct? Did you say that?
I'm happy to talk about that all you want.
You did say it, that's right?
I wrote it, yes.
You said that. Haiti was colonized as a slave plantation colony. The French colonized Haiti so that slaves would work on plantations. The end of colonization in Haiti was so that the people there would no longer be slaves. So what you're saying, and I read your quote, and anybody watching this online should go read it. What you're saying is it would have been good if they'd stayed colonized, which means that it would have been good if they had stayed enslaved by the French.
In the long run, it's one of the
in the long run,
history. No,
people shouldn't have been enslaved a single day. I'm reclaiming my time, Chairman.
And they had every right. They had every right to throw the.
What
French
you said
out.
is that you would have wanted them. Reclaiming my time. I'm talking now.
They would have been freed
you
30 years later, and they would have been in the same situation.
You're saying you wanted 30 more years of slavery in Haiti. Reclaiming my time.
I did
you
not.
just said it. Honestly,
it
adds up. You said that they would have benefited from the French influence.
In
the French
long
were
run,
the ones.
Like the people in Martinique and
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. I'd like my time back. Please,
enslaved.
my time. This is my time, Mr. Korkorian.
They are much better off.
Honestly,
now
this
than
all
Haiti
starts
was.
to add up. Before today, I couldn't understand why Trump's Project 2025 could advocate for ending civil rights protections. Why would Trump's Project 2025, I know there's crazy stuff in here, but I couldn't get why it would advocate for ending protections against discrimination. But now I understand. We have Project 2025 board members here who are the directors of groups that the Southern Poverty Law Center has designated as a hate group. We have people that are on the board that developed this who have said, for example, that Haitians would have been better off with more influence from their enslavers.
With the debt removing the equivalent of $21 billion in US dollars in 2020 terms from the Haitian economy. For comparison, Haiti's nominal GDP in 2020 stood at $14 billion in US dollars. Now, the US GDP is about $28 trillion a year. So if we do the same math and we increase our GDP by a third, it means we would, in the inverse of Haiti paying France, we would provide those affected by US slavery with around $37 trillion, which of course, no one has ever suggested, except for me, right now. In 2013, I was on an improv team called Tickles. We were losing a UCB cage match to the Stepfathers. Even if you understood what I just said, it would still mean very little to you.
I've seen it acting crazy! Crazy! We have enough pots! I got my soup pot and my bigger things pot, and that's all I need!
And at that same time, 2 Yale law students were organizing a discussion group on the subject of social decline in white America. Those 2 students were J.D. Vance and Usha Chilukuri, the daughter of Indian immigrants born and raised in San Diego, California.
Somebody pointed out that there's this weird way in which, like, every phase of your life, you have this like strong female that you could attach yourself to, right? It was your mammal, it was your sister, it was your aunt, and now it's Usha. And I think that's probably a pretty critical insight that, like, I'm one of those guys who really benefits from having like a sort of powerful female voice in his left shoulder saying, don't do that, do that.
J.D. Vance has gone woke, folks. We lost him, he's gone woke. At that time, and up until 2014, Usha was a registered Democrat. The relationship was encouraged by one of their professors, Amy Chua, affectionately known as the Tiger Mom, author of Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother. She would persuade JD to write his own memoir, which you probably heard of because we've been going through it this entire time, including right now. Today, people look at me, at my job, at my Ivy League credentials, and assume that I'm some sort of genius, that only a truly extraordinary person could have made it to where I am today. With all due respect to those people, I think that theory is a load of bullshit. Whatever talents I have, I almost squandered until a handful of loving people rescued me. And at that time when JD was being rescued, I was also being rescued by unemployment benefits. I had mostly been doing data entry and administrative assistance jobs, while also doing improv and sketch comedy at night. Suddenly, I lost my job in 2012, where I was crushed by the academic liberal elites at an acting school who couldn't handle my conservative values like family, God, America, and Mountain Dew, and also their current financial losses. So I spent much of 2013 unemployed. I was doing 2 internships to try and find an entry-level job in video editing. I was editing videos for free for the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater and Troma. I was also doing extra work and trying to find some luck wherever I could. If you want to know how hard it is to break into the entertainment industry, just ask Ben Shapiro, Steve Crowder, Dave Rubin, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles.
That's not a lot, is it? Can I get a towel?
A lot of straight people, really? I was going to have security remove like 3 or 4 of you, but I guess...
Do I want to say my names and stuff?
Yeah, just say,
okay.
you know, just...
Is it safe?
It is the first time doing a video.
Yeah, it's my first time. I didn't know, about the whole internet thing with...
And a slew of other Hollywood rejects who are currently lucky enough to have finally made it by throwing the money of conservative billionaires into a pit just to prove that there's a market for their cruel and reactionary slop.
That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
I don't care.
Lady Ballers.
At this time, unemployment was still in such a bad place following the 2008 housing crisis that there were extensions to the unemployment insurance. Unfortunately, I found myself in these rounds of extensions as House Speaker John Boehner, from Ohio, was continually using these as a bargaining chip as he threatened Obama with government shutdowns.
When everybody wanted a full year of extended unemployment benefits, we were here fighting for the right things. May not have been politically the smartest thing in the world, but let me tell you what, I think our members waged a good fight.
You ever hear the Boehner birthday song? This is your birthday song. It doesn't last too long. Hey!
So there I was, waiting to see if my unemployment would be cut, so rich Republicans can go back and tell their voters that they won, they cut government spending. But at what cost?
I want to assure the people that have watched this thing till 11:45, and I have missed the Kentucky-South Carolina game that started at 9 o'clock, and it's the only redeeming chance we had to beat South Carolina.
However, things were going differently for J.D. Vance. 2 years earlier, I had applied to dozens of places in the hopes of landing a well-paying job after college, but was rebuffed every time. Now, after only a year at Yale Law, my classmates and I were being handed six-figure salaries by men who had argued before the United States Supreme Court. It was pretty clear that there was some mysterious force at work, and I had just tapped into it for the first time.